Alright, same thing, a mess of Phillips screws all the way around the outside of this one. And we're going to pull this pulsar cover first, 3 Phillips screws. Sometimes on these smaller ones, if you can't get these screws off, if they feel like they're stripping, if you turn them clockwise, so opposite direction of loosening them, sometimes we'll get them to a spot where you can remove them, if that makes sense. So this cover is now off. And there's your coils there. 2 Phillips screws to remove this plate. We've got a sensor down there we'll have to remove before we can, let's see, that one doesn't. This one's been rounded off fast. See if we can get it with this impact driver here. Alright, plate is loose there. Now we've got a sensor here we got to loosen up. There we go. And there's that pulsar there. Sensor there, we've got Phillips all the way around there. We'll see if we can get them pulled off here with this electric impact. Then we have 2 in here. Then we have a 10mm to pull this rotor off. Make sure that 10mm comes off. Don't try to spin this. Looks like a 17 or a 19. That won't work like you think that it will. Pull this off, then that'll all come off. So going back together, then these actually slide out and go in between there. And now this cover's ready to come off. There's a couple different spots you can pry on that cover to get it removed there. And there is your clutches. larger nut there. We'll go ahead and take this clutch pack off. Takes 10mm. All the way around there. Loosen all these out. Clutch hub will come off here. You can just pull this up. Once you get that pulled up, you can pull that bolt off. There'll be a nut in behind there. We'll flatten out this keeper. Inch and a 1/16. I'll keep that from spinning. Now the entire pack will come off. We're going to set this back on there.
Okay, got it. See ya.
And the clutch is off there. By putting those bolts back on, you just kind of hold everything together so it doesn't fall apart. Got your shift shaft here. We've got a 10mm we'll pull apart here. Spring loaded, so kind of watch your fingers there. Not extremely tight, but there's a holder that kind of holds that drum into place. That shift shaft now can just slide up out of there. And there's your shift shaft. All right, we'll pull the oil pump now. We're gonna need snap ring pliers for that. Snap ring's off, now the gear is off. And then this pan we'll pull out now because that will just fall out if we don't. Just 3 bolts for that oil pump. And then you kind of got to wiggle it back and forth to remove it. There's a gasket in behind there that seals that up really good. Sometimes can be a bit of a challenge. You don't have a whole lot to grab onto. Take and run that through. Now to get this pin and the circlet back on, you actually have to take your finger, hold behind there. Otherwise that shaft pushes the other way too much and you can't get these parts back together. Now we can put that circlet back on. Shift drum is here, and we'll pull the 17mm bolt up top here. It's a spring-loaded gear that will hold that shaft or that drum from coming out if we don't. Oh, that's a 19mm. And then The ball will just stay down in there, and we'll grab that once we split that case. We've got this larger nut here. To split that case, this won't actually have to come off, but we'll just go ahead and do it now if we can get on there. That should be really using a deep socket, 1.25 inch deep socket, but I think there'll be enough that we can grab onto there. Cancel that. There's a knot. Grab a deep socket, then do that one. So that is, well, we'll do the 17 millimeter here. That doesn't hold anything together, but we'll just remove that one. Now to split this case, we're going to have to remove these 3 Phillips.